Welcome to Smart Study ACCA. I'm Naveed Rehman. I'm making a small video for my students who will be sitting for exams in the next couple of weeks. So this small video is on how to pass your F5 and F9 examinations, and we will be particularly focusing on the common problems that I want everyone to avoid. Now, the first thing is that how do you practice, right? In the last week or the last 10 days, how are you going to practice? The first thing that you need to take care of is the quality over the quantity. A common problem is that most of the students will try to do too many questions and they will compromise the quality, right? So you have to make sure that whenever you solve a question, whenever you do any exercise, right, make sure you don't just skip it in the middle and try another one, right? You need to know what exactly you have done wrong in that question. You need to analyze it before you do anything else. So quality is of course more important than the quantity. The other thing is the time management in reading the question. It's very important. So you need to spend some time while reading the question. You need to break down the question because, of course, if you won't understand the question completely, you will never be able to answer it correctly, right? Now, it's not harmful if you spend like a couple of minutes extra in reading the question because you need to understand the question first before you answer it. The third common problem during your practice is that students normally don't link their working with the main answer. So let's say, for example, you have solved it in your calculator and then you write your main answer or you have done something um, on the scratch pad and then you have not linked it with the main answer, right? Now, most probably, if your answer is not 100% correct, so your marker won't be able to see that how you have solved it and you are not going to get any marks for the method, right? Now, the next problem is relevant, or the next problems are relevant to your knowledge. Like, how do you best use your knowledge in your examination? Now, of course, in the last 10 days or in the last week, you cannot maybe significantly improve your understanding of the subject. But of course, you need to get the best out of your existing knowledge. So, a lot of the students ignore multiple choice questions or the two marker question, objective test questions, right? Now, if you will ignore those areas, so you won't be able to show it in the exam that you actually understand everything, right? Your examiner can test it even for 2 marks now. So you need to understand your multiple choice questions. And let's say if you're given four choices, and if one of the option is correct and three of the options are wrong, you also need to understand that why are the other three wrong. You don't just have to choose the right option. Okay, the theoretical parts of the question, let's say if we have like four parts of a long question, a constructive response question, and or three parts of the constructive response question, normally the last part will be the theoretical part, which is sometimes or most of the times ignored by the students, right? So I'll suggest you guys not to ignore that area. It carries a lot of marks. Another problem is that sometimes students, under the exam pressure, of course, when you are very close to your examination, um, sometimes if a student would like to switch the study resources, I don't think so. It's actually a very good idea. I think you should stick to whatever you have done because you don't have much time to change your study resources. Okay. Repetition is very important. This will give you confidence. So let's say if you have done a question, so let's say if you have done, let's say 50 questions or 60 or 70, whatever the amount of questions that you have done before your examination, I would suggest that you need to repeat it rather than trying too many new questions. When you'll repeat it, this will give you confidence, which is very important for your examination. Always justify your answer. So if you have actually, let's say if you have given some suggestion in the exams, right, you need to justify your answer. You don't just leave a comment and then leave it. Okay, you need to justify your answer. And in the end, the time management. Well, sometimes or most of the people, I think, I believe they'll say that, okay, well, You have 180 minutes, so it should be 1.8 minute per mark, but I'll say 1.5 minute for 1 mark, right? Because there will be some difficult questions also, and you will need to save some time for yourself for the difficult questions. Another very common problem is that students are reading the questions from their books or the revision kits that they have. You need to be comfortable with the on-screen reading also. When you're writing your answer, try to write smaller paragraphs rather than too many bigger paragraphs, right? Writing a small paragraph will actually help your marker to give you more marks, right? Practice under exam conditions, very important area which is ignored by most of the students. You don't try to get 100% accurate answer when you are doing a question under exam conditions, right? Try to get half of the questions right because you need to get 50% marks, right? So under exam conditions, at least a few questions you must do it because you don't want to face the question for the first time in your examination and doing the time management at the same time, right? And then time spent on the things that are not required. Sometimes, let's say, for example, if you don't read the question carefully, you'll be answering something which is not required by the examiner and you'll be just wasting your time, right? So better, as I told you before, you need to spend some time in reading the question, and in the end you don't need to waste time on the things that are not required by the examiner, right? So best of luck. I hope it was helpful. If you need any further help, that I believe that you already have my WhatsApp number, so feel free to contact me, and best of luck everyone. Thank you very much.